Hey fellow Force users, what is up? It's Ahsoka Tano fan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So another can't talk today. Another episode of WandaVision has dropped. I'm excited to see what's in store this episode. Obviously, this show has really kept me guessing a lot so far and has made me change my mind like 1,000 times. But yeah, we're off to a really interesting start. I love the direction that the show is taking. We're, slowly kind of transitioning away from that sitcom into the more typical action style TV show that we're used to seeing from Marvel. And this transition feels so much more powerful because they started with the original sitcom style, which I believe was kind of meant to sort of distract us from what was really going on. Just like we're kind of distracted by the sitcom style, the characters are also distracted by their surroundings and they don't really seem to fully grasp what's going on. And so we are kind of coming back to reality at the same pace as the characters. So it's actually a brilliant form of storytelling. So in this episode, obviously we know the last one ended with Wanda casting out Geraldine, who we know is Monica Rambeau. So I'm wondering in this episode if we're potentially going to see maybe more from her point of view. And what I mean by that is up until now, we've kind of been on the inside looking out. We've been inside Wanda's world and we are not really aware of what has truly been going on the outside world. And so I wonder if at some point we're going to see the outside world perspective, and be on the outside looking in as opposed to being on the inside looking out. It definitely seemed as though from last episode that Wanda is in some sort of control. In the beginning of the series, I kind of thought that maybe someone was controlling her. We saw the TV at the end of episode 1. It kind of made it look like someone was monitoring her, perhaps trying to control her. We haven't seen that TV ending since, and that kind of makes me wonder, especially from last episode, in fact, Wanda is the one in control and they are the ones, trying to monitor her so that they can stop her from doing what she's doing. I definitely got the impression that she might be the villain in all this, especially after last episode. So I'm excited to see whether, this episode shows any more of that or not. So yeah, anyways, I could ramble on forever. There's so much to speculate with this series, which is why I love it so much. But yeah, without further ado, let's get this video rolling and let's check out the episode. Someone in my comments made a very good point. The fact that Geraldine's clothes were still the same when she got cast out implies that whatever Wanda creates in her reality, she has the power of bringing into the real world as well. Is it from Infinity War? Does she get snapped out of existence and brought back?
Excuse me, I'm looking for a patient.
Whoa, this is so trippy.
She died, honey.
Oh.
No.
Maria Rambeau.
I understand what's happening, but you need to listen to me. Maria died 3 years ago. After our wife.
Died?
After our what?
Disappeared. Oh, just when I thought the show couldn't get any weirder. Oh my god, so much going through my mind. What the hell is going on? Sword, okay.
I work here.
If you did, your badge would work, wouldn't it?
Right.
So rude, damn.
Captain Monica Rambeau.
Director Tyler Hayward.
Captain.
Acting director.
Oh, yes. That's Captain Marvel's pilot friend.
The FBI is in a tizzy over a missing persons case.
Tyler, drones usually chaperone me.
I get it.
Look, this is because of...
She believed you'd come back. You'd be doing me a big favor with
I feel like I'm watching a completely different show now. But I guess that's kind of the point. Westview. Oh, and Jimmy.
No such place.
You're saying the town of Westview, New Jersey doesn't exist?
But I keep telling your G-man here, Eastview.
Was that a joke?
Thank you, Sheriff. I'll reach out if we need any further assistance in missing town.
Decide to investigate.
Because they're all Wanda's in Wanda's
Doesn't want
vision.
me to.
Yep. They're all trapped in Wanda's reality. That's why they're not there. Oh, maybe that's the helicopter. Yeah. I was tripping, guys. I thought it was a
What
whole
about you?
whole big helicopter that
Well,
crashed.
from Bakersfield originally. Growing up, other kids had.
Awareness of Westview.
Mm.
Or
And they made it
for
look
that
big
matter.
on purpose there. Yeah, there you go.
Wait, way to go.
Disappeared.
He's right there.
So that's a helicopter from episode 2. There's a field. She's seeing it now. Is she gonna get caught in it now?
Oh.
Careful, girl. Don't go too... Oh, gosh.
Captain Rambeau.
He told you not to do that.
Captain Rambeau.
24 hours later. Okay. So now they're showing their perspective of what happened. That's pretty cool. Oh, she was in Thor.
I'm a chemical engineer.
No one cares.
All right.
Rude.
Here.
Well, he was rude first, though. He asked for it. Okay. Outside Westview. So is she gonna infiltrate the energy field too? Will we see her pop up in Wanda's reality?
Wait, what do you mean?
Let her work. If it's all happening after Endgame, then where did Wanda go then at the end? That's what I'm kind of confused about.
I need a TV. An old one.
That was Wanda. Okay. Yes. Okay. And they had the sword symbols. That's what Wanda saw. The beekeeper that came out the sewer is not really a beekeeper, I don't think. So their mission is to look for Rambeau. Not necessarily stop Wanda, but they don't know that she's doing it yet.
What was that?
Oh, it's not the live audience? Laughing?
He's dead, right? Not flipped. Dead.
Excellent plan.
Yes.
I don't know, and I don't know.
What do you know?
That sums up what I know about the
My
series.
equipment registered an extremely high...
Whoa. That is cool. I've always liked her.
Maybe I could get that copy now?
Yes, that's what we saw at the end of episode 1. So she was the one writing notes. Okay. So I'm so curious to know who these people actually are
Mrs. Hart,
in Westview.
played by Todd and Sharon Davis.
I love how they're trying to
Jones.
figure it out just like us. There she is! Rambeau.
Does she seem okay to you? And if my theory is right,
Oh,
allow us to speak directly to her.
that's why we heard the radio in the radio scene.
Don't touch that.
Why'd you colorize it?
I didn't.
Let's hit the show on the road.
This is so weird, man. I do like how they're showing us this.
Ready? You ready?
Wanda, can you read me?
Yes.
Over. Wanda.
Okay.
Wanda.
So it was him all along. It wasn't Captain America. I thought it might have been Captain America's voice.
Who's doing this to you, Wanda?
But I want to know, why does it come up with bees or flies or whatever around him? Did Wanda just imagine that? Oh, he's gonna get caught now. So every time they go in, it changes them physically too. That's how we got. Yeah, he changed. He changed his appearance. Oh, shit. So now he's gonna be stuck there. Wow. Whoa.
1950s,
They look so bored.
60s, and now the 70s. You want me?
Heck, I thought about it for sure.
Oh, she's talking about the snack.
Get him a tiny little FBI badge. Oh, you took a chip? Sure. What happened? Where'd she go?
So that's how they're seeing it from their end. Who's censoring it then? Wanda, I guess. Oh, we're gonna see what happened now.
Wanda.
They have the horizontal aspect ratio now.
Then how could you know about Ultron?
That's trippy.
You're not my neighbor. And you're definitely not my friend. I want you to leave.
Whoa. That's what happened. It's the first time we're seeing in the sitcom with the horizontal aspect ratio. That's crazy. Okay, so she's obviously censoring the broadcast. Now the question is she gonna remember who she is right now? Or is she gonna have to get her memory back?
What?
Oh!
What is it? What's wrong?
You know what? I thought he looked different in the background.
We don't have to stay here. We could go wherever we want.
No, we can't. I have everything under control.
Literally, she has everything under control. Whoa! I was gonna say, I'm like, he looked darker. Like the red didn't look as vibrant. Okay, now we're going back into sitcom with the vertical aspect ratio. And this is the ending that they saw from the sword base. And the please stand by changed. Holy moly. Wow. Shit. Oh my gosh. This show. Jeez, Lord. I've never had a show have me guess so much. Oh, I think that was Vision's face there. Like the dead Vision. Wow. Wow. So at the end there, that basically confirms one of the theories going around. I think I mentioned it in a previous video. I can't even remember now, to be honest. I mentioned so many theories. But it looks like she is using Vision's corpse somehow. That was just freaky how they showed him like that at the end, just so empty of color. We've been around color this whole time, and he's always been bright red. Everything's been red. And that was the first time we saw him with no color. So that was pretty shocking. Just a reminder of what Wanda really faces if she leaves this reality. Is he really like lying dead somewhere in Westview, or is he kind of walking around under mind control? Like when we saw that glimpse of Vision there, was that really him? Like his corpse walking around being controlled by Wanda, or was she imagining it and he's really lying dead in the house somewhere or something like that? That's what I'm kind of wondering. But that is super dark and a little creepy, but I understand, you know, she's obviously going through a lot of grief. Someone in my comments also mentioned that apparently in the comics there is a part of the comics where Vision becomes basically void of any emotion, and this traumatizes Wanda, and he kind of looks like that there, so that's also a possibility. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Comic savvy people, you're gonna have to help me out a little bit here because there's a lot going on in that episode to dissect. So first of all, at the beginning, I'm assuming what we saw happen was the moment that everybody came back into existence, because we know obviously in Infinity War, Thanos snapped everybody out, and they were in that state for quite a while. You know, I think it was a couple years before the Avengers were able to bring everybody back. So I think in that moment is when Monica came back. It was interesting to hear her talk about her mother, because it sounded like when she left, you know, her mom was doing fine, and I guess maybe she wasn't aware that all that time had gone by, you know, obviously because she disappeared, right? So now she comes back and to learn that her mom actually did in fact die, and her mom was you know, Captain Marvel's friend in the Captain Marvel movie. And that makes sense because we know that Monica made her debut on the big screen as a child in that movie. So now we're kind of getting some backstory there, which is good. That whole scene was just so that was so intense to me. It really kind of just brought us right out of that sitcom. Just as Geraldine or Monica was cast out by Wanda, you know, we were basically cast out in this episode, brought into the real world to kind of try and figure out what's going on. And I think that's why the title is so brilliant too. We interrupt this program. They're kind of titling it like, you know, a typical sitcom or TV program. It kind of, you know, quite literally is an interruption. They're pulling us out of this TV sitcom to kind of, you know, explain a little bit more and give us some backstory a little bit. This obviously also confirms that WandaVision takes place after Endgame. So yes, there goes the theory of this happening sometime between Infinity War and Endgame. But we kind of knew that. It was apparently, I think, confirmed by a couple of the cast members, or at least one of them confirmed that it took place after. But that just basically is confirmation. There's a scene in Endgame where she's fighting Thanos and she says, "You took everything from me."
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
And you could tell she looked furious there and also broken. I guess that was kind of our first clue that she could kind of spiral out of control. And I think that we're seeing, you know, obviously the aftermath of that. Sometime after that movie, she finds this town or creates this abandoned town and, you know, brings these people in somehow, which were the people that they were naming in at the sword base. And we know obviously that Wanda is in control, and even at the end of the episode we see Monica say it's Wanda, so she knows that Wanda is in control. What started as a mission, you know, to figure out a little bit more about this town and more importantly get one of their agents back, Monica, ended up turning into, oh, you know, Wanda's controlling this whole thing, and why is she doing it? Well, I guess we could still question, is someone controlling Wanda, or is she doing it fully on her own? We don't yet have evidence as to who might be controlling her. I know there's a lot of people that think Mephisto, but I'm just kind of wondering how they're going to show that, how Mephisto present himself. At one point I was wondering if Vision could be Mephisto in disguise, and somehow that's how Mephisto tricked Wanda into having kids in the first place. But then we saw the glimpse of Vision at the end there, and he looked like a walking corpse. So I don't think it's Vision. It's possible that the rabbit can somehow be linked to Mephisto or Agnes's husband. A lot of people have said that. These people look to be real people, ordinary people that Wanda has drawn into her reality, and she's assigned them these roles to play in her world. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this girl's up to at this point, to be honest. Up until now, we've kind of been on the inside looking out, and this episode allowed us to now be on the outside looking in. The whole time we were inside Wanda's reality, or Wanda's head, everything seemed kind of darker. Wanda's fears are reflected in what she portrays as being more frightening. And to her, the most frightening thing is losing Vision and losing this world that she has put together. And that is why any type of outsider kind of intruding and threatening that, she portrays as being very dark and ominous. And that's why we got that feeling watching the first few episodes. The beekeeper looked very, very scary, very frightening. The radio scene was a little bit haunting. But now we're seeing what's really going on. It's actually not, in fact, so haunting. But that's just how Wanda's making it seem. And she's trying to mask her fears with the lighthearted sitcom style, simply just editing out the parts that she doesn't like. And that's why they're not able to see the parts that she does, in fact, edit out. It's very brilliant how they showed it, because we're now with the sword people trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in the show. And we see them literally asking the same questions we're asking. Why the hexagonal shapes? Is Vision still alive? Etc. And yeah, now we're asking as many questions as they are. So that's brilliant. There's a lot of questions I have, obviously. Although this episode did give us some answers, so there is that. But, for starters, who is this person they're mentioning in the witness protection program that they haven't been able to locate? Is it someone that we have seen in the movies or TV shows before? Or is it a person that we've never seen in live action yet? Could they be related to Agnes's husband somehow? I think we know from all the people that were listed as being in the town, I don't believe that Agnes was one of them, and I don't believe Dottie was either. We hear Jimmy and Monica talk about this in the beginning, and he says that people haven't even heard of this person, and nobody seems to even know that this town exists. So does that mean it didn't exist prior and Wanda created it, or it did exist and Wanda erased everyone's memories? The people that are in the town, were they somehow all people that were snapped out of existence by Thanos and then, brought back into existence? Because we know Monica was one of those people. We learned that this episode. And she seemed to be, allowed into the energy field, but yet Jimmy wasn't. And she did mention something about having a connection to the energy field, Monica. So I'm just wondering if people that have gone inside it are those that were snapped out of existence. We know that there was some sort of cosmic radiation that was detected by Darcy, who we saw in Thor. And so does that mean that the reality stone again is somehow involved here? Is there more than one infinity stone that's involved? I mentioned in the previous video, there's quite a color scheme going on. And if you look at all the colors that have been shown, they're pretty much all the colors of the Infinity Stone. We've seen red, we've seen blue, I believe we've seen purple, we've seen orange, we've seen yellow, we've seen green as well. The furniture last episode was green. So, I wonder if she's somehow using the Infinity Stones, because they didn't get rid of them technically. After defeating Thanos, they would have taken them to a secure location. So I wonder if somehow she got a hold of those Infinity Stones and Vision's body and is using that to create this whole reality. And if that's the case, they literally went from dealing with Thanos, and now they have, another problem on their hands, which is Wanda is starting to lose it, and is doing things she shouldn't be to try and cope with losing Vision. Seeing Vision at the end there as a walking corpse, when he came back to his regular self that we're used to seeing him appear as, full of color, bright red with the Mind Stone, he almost kind of had that look in his eyes like he sort of wanted to go. He said, "We can go anywhere we want to," and she said, "No, this is our home," and almost implying that she can't take him anywhere because he's really not alive. Maybe he's only alive in this town, and as soon as he leaves, then he won't be alive anymore. But he almost looked like he wanted her to let him go, and that makes me wonder if at the end of the series, we might see Vision be the person that can bring Wanda back to reality and have her stop what she's doing by convincing her that it's the best thing for the both of them for her to let him go. And if that's the case, that would definitely be a profound moment for Wanda's character. It would be emotional, it'd be impactful, and it would show her ability to let go of her attachments, as we say in Star Wars. That's the Jedi way, right? With each episode that passes in this sitcom reality, Vision seems to kind of find out more and more about what's really going on, and the fact that their surroundings aren't really as they seem and aren't actually real. And with each thing he uncovers, he seems to kind of want to leave the reality a little bit more. So we very well could see the series end that way. And yeah, and one more thing about Monica, I just kind of wonder when she went in there, did she know who she was? Because in episode 2, when she said her name was Geraldine, she was kind of hesitant, and I can't tell if that hesitancy is from her not remembering or from her kind of bullshitting to try and not be discovered by Wanda right away. In episode 2, Wanda though kind of seems confused too, even when she hears the radio. She almost seems like she doesn't know what's going on. But in episode 3, she seems more in control. And episode 3 is also when Monica seems to kind of come to the realization of what's going on, and then she just brings up Ultron out of the blue. So I can't figure out if this reality is making people lose their memory in some regard, and they kind of have to slowly get it back, including Wanda herself, or if they're all just quite literally pretending. And we still have a lot of questions that need to be answered, obviously. We still know that Agnes said in episode 2 that Dottie is the key to everything in this town.
Dottie is the key to everything in this town.
What does that mean? We still don't have to figure out who Ralph is. We have to figure out now who this missing person is in the witness protection program. We got to figure out, most importantly, is Wanda doing it herself, or is someone also manipulating her? Only time will tell. That's it for me, guys. Let me know what you thought of the episode. I really enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts, any theories you might have. And don't forget, as always, to leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, guys, take care and see you in the next video.